Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
It's day 3 of our literature unit. You know what we do if you've been paying attention. We actually spend day 3 of our literature unit talking about some of the themes that are found in our novel that we've selected or a piece of literature we've selected. As you know, we've been talking about Moby Dick.
But we're going to talk about some of the main themes and ideas in this book in today's lesson. So without further delay, let's get to it. Let's read the contents of today's lesson, and we'll come back to discuss it. Moby Dick is known for being an extraordinarily dense book full of symbolism and packed with detailed information about whaling and ships. A few themes stand out, however, including that of revenge. Ahab is consumed by thoughts of killing Moby Dick, yet this obsession ends up destroying him, his men, and his ship. As the story progresses, Ahab throws away pieces of the ship's equipment and melts down his own razors to make a special harpoon. Along with the fact that he has abandoned his family, these actions show how much he's willing to sacrifice for revenge. Another idea that runs through the novel is fate. In the first chapter, Ishmael tells the reader that he and everyone else on the Pequod were like actors in a tragedy who couldn't escape their destinies. Despite this belief, Melville frequently refers to free will and suggests that, had they tried, the characters could have avoided their fates. Ishmael is told that an evil end awaits the Pequod, but he ignores the warning. Another harpooner on the ship, Fedallah, has dreams hinting at Ahab's death, but Ahab believes they show his victory and refuses to stop the hunt. Race is another theme. The Pequod's sailors come from all over the world, but there are few racial conflicts. Take Ishmael and Queequeg, for example. At first, neither man trusts the other because of their differences, yet by the end they become close friends. Melville wrote Moby Dick at a time when questions of racial equality and abolishing slavery were being discussed in the U.S. He forced readers to think about racial tolerance by presenting the human qualities of Queequeg and the other non-white sailors.
Let's get started, guys. We're talking about some of the themes that are found in Moby Dick. It says here that Moby Dick is known for being an extraordinarily dense book. This is a pretty long word here, extraordinarily. I'm sure all of you know extraordinaire or extraordinary, right? Or as some people say, extraordinary, which I don't. Extraordinarily. So the strong syllable is going to be on nair. So extraordinarily dense book. If a book is dense, guys, wow, it's kind of complicated. It might be quite thick or very long to read. It doesn't have to be thick, though, or long to be dense. Dense can simply mean kind of tough to get through, kind of hard to understand. This one is full of symbolism and packed with detailed information about whaling and ships. Now remember, Melville had been a merchant sailor for quite a while, so he learned a lot about whaling and ships and just wanted to put it in his book. I'm not interested in that, not really. But I would be interested in Ahab trying to follow and kill the whale. But as far as whaling and ships goes, yeah, not so interested. Although if you give me a book that is dense with descriptions of fashions and, what dresses used to look like back then, I think that would be great. So anyway, extraordinarily just means very unusual, remarkable. Wow. It's something that people can't just, look away from. You have to pay attention. So it's extraordinarily dense.
Right, you could just say it's really dense. It's extremely dense. It's a really dense book. It's got lots of information. It's probably presented in single-space typing with really small characters. It'll take you several weeks to get through it. And it's full of symbolism, things that represent something else, a symbol for something, and packed with detailed information. To be packed with, as a phrase here, just means it has a lot of this stuff in there. If you're interested in whaling, if you're interested in ships, hey, this is going to tell you all about it. It's not just a story about a guy going out trying to kill a whale, but it also includes lots and lots and lots of information about ships and whaling and crews, and you're going to learn a lot there. You're going to be an expert on the ocean and sailing and all that kind of stuff. Maybe some people just don't want that. They just want a simple little story.
Maybe, yeah. So a few themes stand out, however. If something or someone stands out, you notice them. It's something that's not hidden. It's pretty easy to see. If you have a very tall friend like I do, I have a really tall friend. I'm more average height in Taiwan. My friend's quite tall. So when we're outside together, my friend really stands out. You could say, oh, yeah. She's head and shoulders above the crowd. She's much taller than most people to stand out. Here, the themes are standing out, but the one that's really kind of the standout theme, for me at least, is revenge. And remember, revenge means you're trying to hurt or harm someone who has hurt you in the past. Sounds like someone can't forgive, just wants to get revenge. Yeah, and that happens a lot in life, unfortunately.
So the big theme in this book is about revenge. And again, we've got Captain Ahab here with the leg of a whale jaw, basically.
Yeah, whale's jawbone.
And a whale bit off part of his leg. So he's consumed by thoughts of killing Moby Dick. If you're consumed by something, that means it just basically eats you alive. It's something that bothers you day and night. You lose sleep because of it, you lose sleep because of it, because you just can't stop thinking about this thing. It's your main obsession.
You could also just simply substitute is consumed by with is obsessed by. You could also use the preposition with, guys. So someone can be consumed with thoughts, or obsessed with thoughts, or obsessed by thoughts. I think by is really good here. So yeah, kind of lets it just take control of his life. Remember, obsession was a word in our earlier program. So yeah, he's consumed by thoughts of killing Moby Dick. Kind of sad that's all he can think about is a dumb whale. Yep, that's the truth. He doesn't have a family. He's mysterious. He doesn't even really socialize much with the men on the ship. All he thinks about is finding Moby Dick and killing him. Yet, this obsession ends up destroying him, his men, and his ship, except for Ishmael, who survives and lives later to tell the story, the sad tale. So yeah, he didn't just end up destroying his own life. He destroyed the lives of his men, the crew on the ship with him, which is terrible, and the ship. Remember, it gets smashed to pieces.
Indeed. So, yes, he's so obsessed, he's so selfish that everybody else has to suffer because of him. And as the story continues, as the story progresses, Ahab throws away pieces of the ship's equipment and melts down his own razors to make a special harpoon. So the ship had special equipment there, maybe a compass or something like that.
An anchor?
An anchor, stuff like that. He melts it down in order to make a special harpoon to kill the whale.
Wow.
And, of course, razors are those things that men use to shave their faces. Women use them, too, to cut hair off their bodies in various places. But, of course, these are all men on the ship with beards and stuff, so they've got razors there, and they need to shave once in a while. But he melts down his razors, which are made, of course, out of steel, and he uses all that metal to make a special harpoon to kill that whale. Boy, this guy is obsessed.
He's serious, along with the fact that he has abandoned his family. So he did have a family. He left his family to go charging after this whale. So along with just means, besides that or accompanying this, along with the fact that he has abandoned his family, these actions show how much he's willing to sacrifice for revenge. He's willing to sacrifice not just himself, but everybody else around him, which is horrible. Along with, for an example, I could say, I'm going on a picnic tomorrow. Along with some food, I'm also going to be taking some really tasty drinks so that my friends and I will have lots of food and drinks to have on our picnic along with. Or maybe someone's going along with you, along with Tom and me. We're going to be inviting everybody to join in and have some fun with us. So along with, you're joining somebody else or you're talking about other things that will be included.
Yeah, you could also say in addition to. In addition to the fact that he has abandoned his family, these actions also show how much he's willing to sacrifice for revenge. So these are two things that are present in the novel. He's abandoned his family. He's not only done that, but it also tells us that, hey, he's willing to sacrifice not only things that are near and dear to him, but he's also willing to sacrifice other people. He just doesn't care. He wants to kill this whale no matter what. Okay, that brings us to the halfway point in our explanation. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 今天文章的第一句写着 Moby Dick is known for being an extraordinarily dense book, full of symbolism and packed with detailed information about whaling and ships. 白鲸记呢是一个非常难以阅读的书籍而出名。首先我们看到 dense 这个字本来是有密集的意思，不过它延伸出来也有很厚重，譬如说烟雾很浓厚。举例来说 Traffic slowed down because of the dense fog. 因为浓雾，所以车辆就必须要减速行驶。所以如果你说一本书很厚重，那么就是指它很难以阅读的意思，用 dense 这个字来形容。为什么难以阅读呢？因为里面有很多的 symbolism，象征的手法，然后充满了有关于捕鲸跟船只的详细资讯。我们用这个形容词 packed with。 packed 形容词解释成为塞得满满的、拥挤的意思，所以某个地方挤满了人，我们就可以说 be packed with people。来自于动词 pack 本来就是有把人塞进或是挤进什么地方的意思。举例来说，参观的访客挤满了画廊，你就可以说 Visitors packed the gallery。 而这本书呢，里面很多都跟 whaling 捕鲸还有 ships 船只相关的详细资讯。它有3大主题，第一个主题呢就是 revenge， 也就是复仇。在第一段中间的句子提到Ahab is consumed by thoughts of killing Moby Dick, yet this obsession ends up destroying him, his men, and his ship. 在这里提到船长 Ahab， 他其实呢就充满了想要杀死 Moby Dick 的念头，但是自己最后也被这样子的念头给消耗尽了。所以我们用了 consume 这个字引申出来，也有烧毁、毁灭的意思。譬如说The fire consumed half the village， 也就是说这场大火吞噬了半个村庄。而 Ahab 则是被这样的念头，复仇的念头，那么整个给吞噬。那么这样子的 obsession 最后给他带来的结果，不但是 destroying him， 那么毁了他，也毁了船员以及他的船只。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about some of the themes that are in Moby Dick, the book that we've chosen to focus on in our literature unit this month. Now, Moby Dick is known for being an extraordinarily dense book. It's kind of hard to get through, quite complicated. There's a lot there, so it's quite dense. It's full of symbolism. One thing may not actually be that thing. It may be standing in for something else. And it's packed with or has a lot of detailed information about whaling and ships. Now, if you're into whaling and into ships, this could be the perfect book for you. There are a few themes, though, that really stand out, that get your attention, that draw your attention. And the one, of course, that's the most obvious is revenge. We talk about Ahab being consumed or obsessed with his thoughts of killing Moby Dick. And what ends up happening is he not only destroys himself, but his men, his crew, and his ship as well. So as the story progresses or moves along, Ahab throws away pieces of the ship's equipment, that they might need to get back home with. I'm just saying, guys. And he decides, it's more important that I get a huge special harpoon to kill Moby Dick. So he melts down his own razors that are made of metal.
That's really awful. Now his beard is going to grow wildly, and pretty soon you won't be able to see his face because there'll just be a big mass of hair there. That's a terrible thing to happen in a novel like that. So that's one theme in this book, the theme of revenge and all the things he does to get back at that whale. And another idea that runs through the novel, that's in various places in the novel, runs through, like a stream runs through my neighborhood, or a highway runs through my neighborhood. Another theme that runs through the novel is that of fate. Fate is basically things happening and you have no control over it, especially if you think it's controlled by some kind of supernatural being like God or something. It's fate that we've met here today.
That's right. So, yeah, it's got a lot of interesting themes and ideas. So in the first chapter, Ishmael, who's our narrator, he's the one who's actually telling the story. He's the only one who survived, remember? He tells the reader, that's us, that he and everyone else on the Pequod were like actors in a tragedy who couldn't escape their destinies. They had no control. If you have a captain who's a little bit crazy, and Ahab was cuckoo or crazy, they were unable to actually make any of the decisions. Ahab was making all of them. A tragedy is a story where typically very sad things happen, and most often people die in that book or play or drama. We talk about Shakespeare having written a lot of comedies and tragedies, both. So the tragedy, of course, is sad and the comedy is funny. So they were like actors in a play, and other people were controlling them. In this instance, of course, it was Ahab. They couldn't escape their destinies or their fate. A destiny is something that, you have no control over. It's been kind of predicted that it's going to happen to you, and there's nothing you can do to change it.
That's right. You could say that to somebody you meet at a party. Hey, you and I are meant to be together. You are my destiny. It's written in the skies or whatever. Nothing can change that. You better accept your fate because it is your destiny to be with me forever. So, yeah, I guess they're all stuck on the ship and they know that they can't escape. The captain there is obsessed with this. Hey, gee, Captain, can you stop at port? I'd like to get off at Honolulu and leave this silly trip behind. Sorry, no, I'm not stopping anywhere. You're stuck here. So, yes, they're actors caught in a tragedy, and it's their destiny to remain there. Despite this belief, or even though they have this belief, Melville frequently refers to free will and suggests that had they tried, the characters could have avoided their fates. So, there's the idea of free will. Can people choose their own destinies? Do we have to do what we're told to do? Or can we actually make some decisions And he thinks that maybe these people were maybe kind of weak or something. If they had tried, they could have avoided their fates. They didn't have to be stuck on that boat with Captain Ahab, but they all died anyway, so I guess they were real cowards. At least Melville suggests that.
Well, Ishmael is told that an evil end awaits the boat, the Pequod, but he ignores the warning, see? If someone warned you, you better be listening. Another harpooner on the ship, Fedallah, has dreams hinting at Ahab's death. So he's actually given some warnings through the dreams he has. But, of course, he doesn't listen either. He dies in the end as well. To hint at something just means you don't come right out and tell someone something. You give them clues or maybe a little bit of a suggestion. You don't tell them directly, but you might want to hint. Maybe you have a friend who's been hinting that their birthday's just around the corner. Maybe the hint is that if you haven't bought my gift yet, you should hurry up because my birthday's next week. That's a hint. Oh, I'm going to have a party. I'm going to have a dinner with my family. Maybe they're hinting for a gift.
Could be, and here these dreams kind of suggest that Ahab is going to die, but Ahab doesn't believe it. He thinks, hey, your dreams actually mean that I'm going to win. These dreams show my victory, and therefore I'm not going to stop this hunt. Just you wait and see. We're going to kill that whale, and we're all going to be hailed as heroes. So, don't try to stage a mutiny or something like that.
A mutiny is when the crew turns on the captain and rebels against the captain.
Yeah, maybe that's what they should have done in the first place.
Totally.
But they all ended up dying anyway. Now, moving on to another theme in the novel besides destiny and revenge. Another theme is race. And we're not talking about racing, who gets to the finish line first. No, in this particular case, it's about different kinds of people, whether you're yellow, black, brown, etc., red. These are all different races.
The Pequod's sailors come from all over the world, but there are few racial conflicts. A conflict is when you don't get along with someone. So take Ishmael and Queequeg, for example. At first, neither man trusts the other because of their differences. They're from different countries, different races. They don't know each other very well. Yet, by the end, they become close friends. Just because you're really different, or maybe you're even a different race, doesn't mean you can't become close friends with someone. Melville wrote Moby Dick at a time when questions of racial equality, people being equal, we didn't care about races, It doesn't matter if you're black or white, we're all equal. There were also questions of getting rid of slavery. To abolish means to outlaw something, to get rid of it. We had to fight a war over it, the Civil War, to finally abolish slavery. But it was a question at the time he was writing, and he wanted to show people, hey, it doesn't matter that we're different races. We can all be friends together and get along.
Yep, nowadays we talk about racial equality, but we could also talk about gender equality or income equality. There are different ways for people to be equal. And yes, this discussion was going on in the United States at that time about abolishing slavery. And Melville forced readers to think about racial tolerance by presenting the human qualities of Queequeg and the other non-white sailors. So remember, Ishmael, I guess, is a white guy, and Queequeg is a Polynesian there. I think there's another member of the crew who's from Africa. So indeed, you can learn.
Fedallah, maybe.
Fedallah, maybe the harpoonist there, a harpooner. And yes, indeed, they get along quite well there because they have a common enemy there, the whale. At least they have to fight against the whale because Ahab is telling them to. So indeed, this book is presenting us with these different human qualities, and they all seem to get along quite well. So those are the main themes of this book.
Cool. Well, guys, right now we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to wrap it up.
第二段的第一句提到 Another idea that runs through the novel is fate. 另外一个贯穿这本小说的概念就是 fate， 也就是命运。作者的态度是什么呢？在第二段中间的句子提到 Despite this belief, Melville frequently refers to free will and suggests that had they tried, the characters could have avoided their fates. 虽然感觉起来呢，他们都是悲剧里面的演员，他们难以逃离他们的命运。尽管有这样的想法，作者还是常常提到 refer to， 提到什么事呢？Free will 就是人都是有自由意志的，而他就是暗示着说，如果呢这些人有努力去尝试，也许这些角色就可以逃离这些命运。在这里我们来看一下 that 后面的子句 Had they tried 其实是来自于 if they had tried 来用来说明与过去事实相反。这些船员当时如果有努力尝试，也许 could have avoided their fates 就有可能呢去逃离这样子的不幸命运。第三段这里提到 Race is another theme， 那么种族呢则是另外一个主题。为什么会谈到种族呢？在后面的句子提到Melville wrote Moby Dick at a time when questions of racial equality and abolishing slavery were being discussed in the U.S. 其实呢，作家在写《白鲸记》的时候呢，在那个时候就是在讨论种族平等 racial equality 以及废除奴隶制度abolishing slavery 这样子的问题。我们来看一下 equality 这个字就是有平等的意思 racial equality 种族平等。那么我们也常常强调机会要均等，就可以称之为 equality of opportunity。文章的最后一句 He forced readers to think about racial tolerance by presenting the human qualities of Queequeg and the other non-white sailors. 那么透过呈现里面的这个角色 Queequeg 跟其他非白种人水手的人类特质，那么作者迫使读者呢要去思考种族包容的这件事，也就是 racial tolerance. OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is our literature unit on the classic novel Moby Dick by Herman Melville. If you have interest in this, we really encourage you to get a copy. I bet you could get a free copy these days because it was written so long ago. The copyright is off. So check it out. There are a lot of good words. And if you don't pick up the book, at least take a good look at these vocabulary words and how to use them. I'm sure you'll see them one day on a TOEIC test. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
See ya.